Balance. It is used for accurate weighing of samples and precipitates. Beaker. It is a common container used for mixing, stirring, and heating chemicals. It has spouts on their rims to aid in pouring, and it comes in wide range of sizes. Bunsen burner. It is a mechanical apparatus that is connected to a flammable gas source. It has a knob to adjust the amount of gas flow and a rotating collar that controls airflow. Burette. It is a glass tube that is open at the top and comes to a narrow pointed opening at the bottom. The bottom opening is a stopcock that can be turned to control the amount of liquid being released. It is used for extremely accurate addition of liquid. Burette clamp. It is used to clamp onto ring stand to hold and secure burette. Clay triangle. It is a clay with an open center used to suspend crucibles. Crucibles. It is a small clay cup made of a material that can withstand extreme temperatures and used for heating substances. Droppers. A small glass tubes with narrow tips on one end and a rubber bulb on the other. It sucks up liquid that can be squeezed out in small drops. Erlenmeyer flask. It is also called the conical flask. It has narrow neck and expands toward its base. It allows easy mixing and swirling of the flask without too much risk of spilling. Evaporating dish. It is used for the evaporation of solutions and supernatant liquids and sometimes to their melting point. Florence flask. It is also called the boiling flask. It has a round bottom and a long neck. It holds liquids and can be easily swirled and heated. Funnel. It can be made of a plastic or glass. It can either have a short stem or a long stem. It comes in several sizes that is based on the amount of the liquid that needs to go through them quickly. Graduated cylinder. It is a measuring tool for the volume of a liquid. Iron clamp. It is used to clamp onto a ring stand to hold glass tube. Mortar and pestle. It is used to grind up solid chemicals into fine powder and crush solids into smaller pieces. Pipette. A long glass tube that measures an exact volume of liquid and placing it into another container. clamp. It is used to clamp onto a ring stand to seat a beaker or a flask. Ring stand. It is a stand used to support a ring clamp, iron clamp, and burette clamp. Spatulas. It is used to scoop solid chemicals out of its original container onto a weigh bottle so that it can be weighed on a balance. Steering rod. It is a piece of laboratory equipment used to mix chemicals and liquids for laboratory purposes. They are usually made of solid glass, and the thickness are slightly longer than the drinking straw with rounded ends. Test tubes. It is a glass tube with one end open and the other end is closed. It holds small samples and used for qualitative assessment and comparison. Thermometer. It is used to measure the temperature of a substance or a liquid. Tongs. It is used for grabbing things that should not be touched by hand, and it is used to hold beakers, test tubes, and other apparatus. Forceps. It is used to grab small things like solid chemicals and broken glass pieces. Volumetric flask. It is a round flask with a long neck and a flat bottom. It is used to measure an exact volume of liquid and come in special caps that will not let anything in or out. Wash bottle. It is a squeeze bottle with a nozzle used to rinse various pieces of laboratory glassware. Watch glass. It is a round piece of glass that is slightly concave or convex. It holds a small amount of liquid or solid. It is a lead for a beaker and used for evaporation purposes. Handling chemical reagents. When conducting an experiment, it will be necessary for us to obtain chemical reagents, both liquid and solid, from storage area. The chemicals in storage area have a degree of purity to be maintained. In order to avoid contaminating these chemicals, the following rules should be strictly adhered. 1. Take only as much reagent as you need. 2. If a spatula is used to remove a solid reagent from its container, use only that spatula for that reagent. Do not use the same spatula to remove reagents from two different containers. 3. Once a reagent has been removed from its container, never return any portion of it to its container. All excess materials should be discarded as instructed by the instructor. How to use a mortar and pestle. Only one substance at a time for grinding or pounding in mortar and pestle. Never use one mortar and pestle for simultaneously mixing different substances. Place the substance to be ground into the mortar, then pound by pestle until to its fine texture. Use the spatula for removing the powdered substances. Measuring liquids. Graduated cylinders are one of the common instruments used for measuring liquids. It is designed to measure the volume of a liquid. When we pour a liquid in the graduated cylinder, we can see that the surface of the liquid will be slightly curved. This curved surface is called a meniscus. This curvature is caused by the combined effects of the pull of gravity on the liquid and the attraction of the liquid for the glass of the instrument. For lower meniscus, use colorless liquid, and for upper meniscus, use colored liquid. Testing an odor safely. For the testing of odor of gases, just waft your hand over the test tube and cautiously sniffing the fumes. Do not inhale any fumes directly. Use a fume hood whenever poisonous or irritating fumes are. Personal protection equipment is always necessary to protect workers from chemical exposure and other hazards. A laboratory coat should be worn and buttoned whenever chemicals or biological materials are handled. It will protect the wearer's personal clothing and exposed skin from contaminants. Eye and face protection is extremely important when working in a laboratory and must be worn if hazard exists that could cause eye or face injury. Safety glasses and goggles provide protection against impact hazards. Gloves are worn whenever handling hazardous materials, even in small quantities. It is important to choose the appropriate type of glove for the hazard present, such as chemical-resistant gloves and heat-resistant gloves.